Now, let's begin with an example of how we are starting notes. Without the tongue first, you know exactly by now, I hope, with plenty of practice, exactly where the lip, as I call it, grabs the note. There. Without going through all this procedure. Just... Well, practice doing that first of all. Takes a lot of practice, but you can do it. Secondly, starting the notes with the tongue. Now this is exactly the same thing. You know where this position is, where I call it the lip grabs the note. Now at this position, put the tongue, I don't know if you can see this, just behind the teeth. Not through between the teeth, just behind the teeth. And the flat of the tongue, not the whole of it, but just the front part of the tongue, press it up slightly, not very hard, very slightly against the tooth ridge, which is marked in your diagram. Now, what I can't draw in this diagram is the fact that the sides of the tongue on the top are also pressed up against the side teeth, so that you now have a complete seal from back to front. No air can get past this tongue. In fact, you can do this. Breathe and put the tongue into that position. You sort of go red in the face. You've stopped the air. Now, you know where the note is because you've been practicing it, haven't you? At this position, simply draw the lip back. When you've been breathing forward, you've stopped the air. There is pressure building up behind that tongue. There has to be. Now, simply don't spit, don't do anything. Just pull the tongue back, and there's your note. As a matter of fact, you could almost say that the perfect technique of tonguing is not learning how to go t, but learning how to go stopping the note. And when you've stopped that note, you are in the perfect position. Now pull the tongue back and the note starts. Sounds a bit funny. It sounds like backward thinking, but that's the way it works. Now don't spit. I've heard so many and read so many things about people saying, imagine you have a piece of paper on your lip and you're spitting it down the tube. That sounds awful. It's explosive and not nice. I've actually heard people say, imagine you have a piece of tobacco on your lip. I hope you haven't. Now, you've got this seal. The next thing is, what vowel sound do you produce when you're doing this? Again, I've read and heard so many different things saying, pronounce the syllable T or tu or ta or to. Well, no, please don't. These are vowel sounds and you cannot do anything. You cannot say E without pulling up the back of the tongue and pulling the cheeks back. You're pulling your mouth out of position. The perfect syllable is neutral. It's t. You can, if you experiment, I'm going to look a bit silly now, but you can do all sorts of vowel sounds and just get t, 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 t. You can still say t in almost any mouth position, but you try saying T. You can only do it in one position. So, t. And now the same thing, but doing different pitches. Now don't be surprised if when you go lower, you find your tongue wanting to come a little bit more forward in between the teeth, but don't let it press into the into the lip itself, because otherwise you'll press the lip forward and they'll snap back, and that's not good. But very often we move the tongue, or when we're going higher notes, for higher notes, you find the top part of the tongue lifting up. Don't worry about that. That's perfectly normal. So, many pitches. Start loud, soft, high, low. Take your time. Eventually, confidence grows. It's hard to believe at your stage, but confidence does grow. But take your time, get it right.